欢迎回到我们的频道，我是怀玉君，
我是主力。
那么前段时间其实我们有一点生病了，但是我们今天想坐下来聊一聊我们前段时间去南京的一个小旅行，就是在我们的纪念日的时候，然后去了南京，然后我们想也聊一聊这个南京这座城市跟杭州，他们之间的一些区别，我们的一些感受，当然也是从朱莉一个外国人的视角。那么接下来我们就开始我们的视频吧。
So obviously before going to a new city, I've already seen a few cities here in China and they've all been vastly different. I don't think any of them have really been similar to one another.
Yeah. They have very different vibes.
Yeah. And very different types of people, I think.
Yeah.
So I was aware that Nanjing would be different from Hangzhou, most likely, even though they're geographically quite close to each other.
Yeah, only 1.5 hour away from each other.
Yeah.
Like high-speed train.
Yeah, with the high-speed rail. But the first thing I noticed is that there were way less people with obvious plastic surgery, at least. Like, nothing wrong with plastic surgery. It's just you see it a lot in Hangzhou, and in Shanghai we saw it a lot as well.
Yeah.
But for example, in both Nanjing and obviously in your hometown of Mudanjiang, you see it way less.
Yeah, I think it's just because Hangzhou and Shanghai are more like influencer cities.
Yeah, maybe they just have better plastic surgeons, you know. There's definitely a lot more plastic surgery clinics here.
Yeah.
Another thing is that I saw less women wearing like Xiaohongshu fashion style, Xiaohongshu makeup style. Like Xiaohongshu style is a very unique pocket, and I think if you're a foreigner that's never been to China, you'll assume because of TikTok that people walk around like that, and I would say even in Hangzhou it's rare. It's a minority of people.
But it's definitely more.
Way more. And I think it's just because there's way more influencers here. This is like influencer heaven.
Yeah. But Nanjing is definitely different.
Yeah. It's more like, I would say like cool girl vibe. And here you have more of like a girly vibe. It's a very interesting difference. I know that people call Zhejiang and Hangzhou like food desert. I disagree that it's a food desert. I like the food here, but Nanjing's food was like way better. It was so delicious.
Yeah, Hangzhou people don't hate on us.
No, please don't. Your food is also great, but Nanjing has your beat for sure. We ate that duck. Is it duck blood?
鸭血粉丝汤. Yeah.
对.
Yeah.
And the sweet dumplings, and we had
灌汤包, like the soup dumpling.
And the crab restaurant we went to. That was so good. Oh my god.
She really likes the 蟹粉面, like the crab noodles. Yeah. That one is so tasty.
And I'm not really a mian person.
Yeah.
Taxi drivers really shocked me because I have heard that Hangzhou has like the nicest drivers or like the most chill traffic. And that terrified me because frankly it's not that chill, but Nanjing taxi drivers in my experience drive so much more calm, way less aggressive. Thank God. No, it was just so nice to not be in a taxi fearing for your life because a taxi driver is about to have like a Fast and Furious style race down the street.
Yeah. Some taxi drivers are really crazy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
C'est parti.
I would never recommend driving as a tourist in China. That's a suicide mission. Don't do that to yourself. Hangzhou is cleaner than Nanjing.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yeah.
That Hangzhou is way cleaner.
I think that's one of the big bonuses of living in Hangzhou is that it's such a massive city and there's so many people and so many tourists, but it's so clean.
Yeah.
Like, we complain openly when there's trash because you're not used to seeing it.
Yeah.
When Nanjing, the streets are just more disorganized, like it's less polished, which is cool in its own way. I think it's an amazing city for tourists that want a bit more of like that less fabricated vibe. I think Nanjing is awesome. It just has way more of like a cold feeling, I would say. Like we talked about, it's more a northern city.
It's more like a northern city, and also it has that more masculine vibe. Yeah.
I can kind of see it. Like when he first mentioned
Very
it.
serious.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But I get it now. I can definitely see why people would consider it a more masculine city.
Yeah.
Another thing is that I really appreciated that way less people took pictures of me without asking. Even though we saw less foreigners in Nanjing, people respected my personal space a lot more than they do here.
They won't just...
No, like here that is a problem. Whenever we go
and
anywhere.
Hangzhou is a big problem, I would say.
Whenever we go anywhere, all of a sudden there's like a paparazzi team of people. And I know some people think that I would like it. I really, really don't. Like, I don't think people can understand how annoying it gets when you're on a date. Or you're just sitting there having like a serious conversation and suddenly you're like having two people like having a camera in your face.
Or sometimes you're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
You want to be left alone.
Yeah, and it's not that you can't do it obviously, but I just appreciate that people in Nanjing didn't just do it. And they would just walk up to me and be like, oh, can I please take a photo with you or of you? And the people we said no to also respected it. Like, they didn't do what people sometimes do here, especially older men and older women here have a tendency to, even if I say no, like, please don't, please stop, if I already caught them doing it, they will just continue. Like, you can't stop them, and it can be very frustrating. Something that surprised me, I know I don't speak Mandarin in our videos because my Mandarin is not good by any means. I don't have a big vocabulary.
But her accent is great.
Don't
are.
set people's expectations that high, please. Then people are gonna be like, it's not. But I found Nanjing people easier to understand because sometimes I would say the local Hangzhou dialect, for me, as someone who's learning Mandarin, can be very difficult. Like, I just didn't, like, I have no idea what they just said, even though it's words that I do know. It can be hard for me to understand what they were saying. And in Nanjing, I felt less of that.
Yeah, I think Nanjing dialect is more similar to Mandarin. And for a person like me, who's from Dongbei, it's easier to understand.
Yeah, and I think inevitably language learners here will learn the standard accent, of course. Yeah, sure. So, of course, it's harder to understand certain areas than others.
Especially old people.
Yeah, and then especially also if they mumble a little bit or speak very fast, I'm lost. I'm sorry. I wish I could understand, but I just cannot. For those who haven't been to China, Hanfu is not as widespread as social media might make it look like it is.
No.
So you won't see as much of it as you might expect, but in some areas it's huge. And I would say Hangzhou is definitely the place to go to if you like Hanfu. But compared to Hangzhou, Nanjing doesn't have that big of a Hanfu community, I don't think.
No, it's way smaller and way less people.
And you can definitely you can also just tell that people aren't as submerged in it. Like in Hangzhou, you see people, you can tell that this is their everyday lifestyle. It's wearing Hanfu, and it's something they are like super into. Where I would say in Nanjing, when we saw people, a lot of them I could tell they were rented because they don't fit correctly. It's not the right size.
Yeah.
Or the hair is done in a way that's very typical of a photo studio style. Or it's not proper Hanfu. it's like a borderline controversial thing to say, but there are things that are like traditional shapes and patterns, and there's things that are not. And we saw way more of those like imaginary hanfu in Nanjing.
影楼装 like if you know Hanfu, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They're not real Hanfu, they're inspired by Hanfu. Like it's more like opera.
One thing that shocked me a lot compared to Hangzhou is that in Nanjing there were stuff like fake M&Ms, fake Louis Vuitton, like fake brands in general, but the fake M&Ms really took me out. I couldn't believe that it's even worth it to make fake M&Ms.
Yeah.
But in Hangzhou you don't really see fake brands on display, at least.
Yeah, you can't see that in the normal mall or like in subway station. Yeah.
Like when me and my family first came to China, like well over a decade ago now, we saw a lot of fake brands. Like they were like the fake market in Beijing. But now you don't see this in like the first tier cities, at least. Like it's way more like hidden and stuff.
Yeah.
So I completely thought that it just didn't really exist in the same way anymore. But I'm wrong. I just need to leave Hangzhou. Another big thing for me, mainly because I think it's a bit nasty, to be honest, is the spitting. In Hangzhou, I would say it's rare. You might see like when my parents were here, they mentioned it, that it was very, very little compared to Beijing.
Even comparing to Denmark.
I think maybe more people spit today in Denmark just because young people use like snooze. I don't know how to explain, but it's like that nicotine thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of odd to see people just doing that. I wouldn't say it's a lot. It's not at all a lot, but it's definitely more than it is here. More people also smoke on the street.
Yeah.
Where here, I wouldn't say it's that bad. Like in the nightlife is definitely a lot more, but it is everywhere. I think if you go out at night, of course people are going to be smoking because they're partying as well. But yeah, more people smoked as well. But the two cities are similar in the fact that there's a lot of trees.
Yeah. Very green city.
Yeah.
But the type of trees are very different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
But I would still say it's very like pleasant, very calming. You definitely feel that Nanjing feels smaller than Hangzhou, and it is smaller by what, 4 million, I think.
Maybe less than that, but you feel small, like it's a smaller city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that surprised me a lot, and I still find kind of annoying and surprising, that it's not something that's handled more by local authorities. I know it's not a big deal, but when we were visiting like tourist areas, there were scammers trying to tell you like, oh, you can't get a taxi here, so you need to pay me.
Yeah.
Those kinds of people, or people that wanted to take you somewhere else. That was really annoying, and I think we got asked, like, we didn't stand there for more than a minute, and I think in less than a minute 4 people had approached us. It was very extreme, and they don't just back off.
They just drive a scooter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also the people standing right outside the gate, they walked after us for a little bit.
Yeah.
To try and like sell you on whatever. I think that's something that gives kind of a bad impression.
Yeah.
But all in all, I would say Nanjing was an extremely good experience. I really liked the city. It was very charming, I think. And again, people are very outgoing. They're more talkative to strangers than people here. Yeah. So that's a bonus for me. I like talking to people.
I think it's because Nanjing is not a very typical like Changsanjiao, like Yangtze Delta city. Yeah. People, their personalities are a little bit different with people here, like people in this region, like Shanghai, Hangzhou. Yeah.
It's in my current top 3 cities, together with Hangzhou and Beijing. So I still need to visit Beijing again. Maybe I don't like it anymore. Who knows? No, but I really want to come back to Nanjing. We were only there for 3 days. So obviously this is a very like quick judgment or like quick thick piece.
Yeah, it's
on
not a serious review or something.
No, and please don't take it too seriously.
Yeah.
It's just for fun,
Yeah.
and I really, really do like it.
Both of the cities are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hangzhou and Nanjing are definitely both cities. I think if you're foreign, you should visit them. If you're Chinese, you should visit them too.
Yeah.
They both have a lot of history. We went to a lot of interesting places.
Mm.
I had so much fun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of footage of me doing weird stuff. 他不喜欢我。
Huh?
Because he always manages to film my most random of moments.
Because there's a lot of random moments.
Alright, thank you for watching our video. I hope you want to come back for another topic.
And remember to subscribe and like our video.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.